Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez Williams, and I am so excited to show you what we are making tonight. We're gonna have leftovers of our soups or our casseroles, whatever we have, because we don't have all of us eating tonight. Well, almost. We have, because Zariah is at a sleepover. But I have a amazing recipe, and it looks, I want to make sure that this isn't leaking. I don't think so. But I want to make sure because it's wet underneath it. I just washed it though, so it might be just that. All right, so tell me, thumbs up, hearts, share this video. You're gonna want to try this flatbread. It is a cottage cheese flatbread, rosemary Parmesan. That flavor combination is incredible. You're gonna love it. So I have 2 eggs and a cup of cottage cheese. This is full fat cottage cheese, and it happens to be small curd, but if you have medium or large curd, it's okay, either one of those. But full fat is important. And now we are going to put the rosemary. I was like, wait, where am I at? I can't think. Okay, the rosemary. I have a little bit of a cold coming on, and I've been fighting it away, but I can hear it. I can feel it in my voice. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, which is probably great because that's, I think, all I have. So normally I would use a little bit extra sprinkled on top of the bread as I put it into the oven, which I actually have a little bit for that. So I do. I'll tell you, but I would use a little bit more than I have. But a 1/4 cup goes inside. And then rosemary, if you like rosemary Parmesan, that combination, put like it. If you have never had it, put never in the comments. And if you, like it or never had it. If you don't like it, leave it. This is a 1/4 teaspoon, it's a little bit of a heaping teaspoon of rosemary, 1/4 teaspoon of rosemary leaves. And now we are going to, I was just thinking, oh man, this would probably be really great if it was a fresh rosemary. I don't know what that equivalent is, but I think that would be really good with like fresh rosemary in there. And fresh or like grated Parmesan. This is like second. This is like a better option, but it's not the best option. All right, now we're gonna blend this, and then we just something still over there. I gotta get that out of there. Some yellow from the egg. The yolk. Okay, now we're back. Now we're going to put this onto our parchment paper baking sheet. I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. I have a big baking sheet, parchment paper on it. Now we just have to draw a rectangle, and that will make our bread. The liquid batter, draw a rectangle, fill it in. And you want to cover, like, this is a pretty big baking sheet. It's the biggest size of them that I have. So I'm gonna move it around a little bit by just like kind of pressing down and then moving like this. You don't have to cover the whole surface area of the pan because you don't want it to be too thin, or like when it goes flat, you want it to be kind of equally in all the spaces and not overly, like if this is way too thin over here, I'm gonna have to find a way to get some back over there because it's way too thin in that corner, but then it moves it way too thin over here. So you don't want it to be too uneven, so that you make sure that it cooks well. And then we're gonna put our extra Parmesan on top. And then we're gonna bake this for between 20 and 25 minutes. You do want it to get golden on both sides. Joe! It's gonna get golden on both sides. Joe really likes this too. He likes all of these flatbreads. He says maybe sometimes he doesn't, but then he ends up eating like the whole thing. Or he would eat it if I wasn't adding to eating it. And I usually cut it in like strips, or in like small chunks like this, or in strips. If you want to use it as a wrap for like a sandwich, that's really good. deli meat and cheese and wrap it up like in a third and wrap it up, roll it up. You can also, you do want to make sure that the underside is brown and then the top is golden, because if it's too blonde still, it's not going to cook all the way through and it's a little like soggy-ish. Okay, he's gone. So check on that. Once it cools, the best way to get it off of the parchment paper is to turn it over and then peel the parchment from the bread rather than the bread from the parchment. If you do the bread from the parchment, it often sticks a little bit more. It doesn't stick if you do the other way, but you just go slow from one corner, peel it, the parchment from the paper. Parchment from the paper. Okay, tell me if you have had my rosemary Parmesan bread. Had it in the comments, and if you've had some type of cottage cheese bread, put cottage in the comments if you've had that type of bread before. So I just love this, my version of the cottage cheese bread, because I love those two combination. I had a cracker that was rosemary Parmesan, and I was like, oh, I could make that into a bread. Oh, I can actually probably make that into my crackers too. I might have to do another. I have a really good cracker, low carb cracker, but this would be a great rendition of that low carb cracker that's mine. So I'm gonna put on my timer for 20. I'm gonna check it at 20 minutes. I'll probably put it in for another 5. Usually how it goes, but I don't want to burn it either. It's gonna look darker, and the cheese on the top is gonna get a little bit dark, but that's okay because it's like yummy. All right, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are. From my house to your kitchen, global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Bye.